everybody. Welcome back. We're here again at the closing table. I'm with my boy, Ben Hawkins. Lynn with Ben. He's got all your mortgage needs covered. I'm Doug Yopp with the Oceanair Realty, and we're ready to hit the ground running today. Ben, how you doing, brother?
Doug, I'm on the struggle bus this morning. It was a late night. Late night, as I'm sure we'll discuss here shortly. But it was a fun late night. So.
Well, let's jump right into it. Let's hit the ground running here at the closing table. Something new. The Canes are in the Stanley Cup Finals, and you know a little bit about that. So, Ben, why don't you tell us what happened last night?
Oh, man. Well, I got a phone call at like 1 o'clock, and a friend of mine had said, "Hey, Ben, got a couple extra tickets to the Stanley Cup Finals. Would you like to come?" And I'm like, "What? Let's go." Raleigh is about a 2-hour journey from Wilmington. It's not bad at all. Just a straight shot down I-40. However, driving it at 12:30 and arriving home around 2:30 in the morning, it's a different story. It's boring and long, right? Dark. You got a straight shot and you got to keep your eyes on the road. But it was electric in there last night. The Canes went down in defeat 5-4 to the Golden Knights. They got up 2-0 early, scored the first goal in the first period right out the gate within 30 seconds. Got up 2-0, and then the wheels kind of fell off, and it seemed like they were playing catch up the rest of the way. They never were able to retake the lead. So electric atmosphere. Doug, I got to give you guys credit in Raleigh. A fantastic fan base up there, and you'd appreciate this too. They were showing celebrities or whatever, on the big board and stuff like that, showing the crowd. Well, poor John Shire, the Duke head basketball coach, they showed him, and 23,000 fans just immediately booed him out of the building. And he looked up. His friend was like, he was wondering what they were booing at. He didn't even know he was on the screen. So his buddy next to him nudged him. Pardon me. His buddy next to him nudged him, and he looked up and he just goes like that, kind of a smirk, like, yeah, okay, I expect this. So he got booed out of the building. But I mean, as far as a product, the NHL and the Carolina Hurricanes did it right. The staff there is super friendly, super helpful. It's a rowdy crowd. I mean, there were some young guys who were in the early 20s. Who were spilling beer everywhere. Some poor lady and her daughter in front of them. They spilt their beer down their back. They got up and walked off. The guys thought they were going to call security on them, but the lady didn't. And I actually moved seats because Luke was kind of closer to them, so I moved him away from them to where I could take the brunt of the abuse if that was the case. Then they spilled beer all down the floor too. So it's like we're in puddles of beer, and I don't even drink beer. Luke's like, "Daddy, this stuff stinks." It's those IPAs these days. It's not the Bud Light. It's the IPAs. So those things are raunch. But anyway, we had a great time. It's a fantastic venue. The Lenovo Center is an amazing place to watch any type of a sporting event or concert or whatever. And they did it right. And Doug, to piggyback off of something we talked about weeks ago on the show, the parking. It was $95 to park there. It was $95. So I do have one thing to report. I kind of hit the jackpot. I paid for the parking, and I look at my mobile app later to see how depleted my bank account was after, Luke getting snacks and such. And they actually reversed the $95 charge. I have no idea how that happened, but I felt like I needed to go buy a lottery ticket. But $95 to park your car and then walk 2 miles to the Lenovo Center. It was quite an experience. I know we were complaining about that before on the show a few weeks ago, but man, I mean, I'd love to complain about it some more. So Carolina Hurricanes, well done, even in defeat. It was a great time, great experience. I mean, I got to take my son to the Stanley Cup Final. I thought that was really freaking cool.
That's pretty cool. That's a nice little bucket list item right there. I'm glad you guys were able to make it up and that you had a good time. Obviously a loss, but hey, they lost the first game of the last series, so let's see what happens. I know one thing, this team's got a lot of fight in it. They're not going to give up, so we'll just see what happens. Maybe they can rejigger some stuff and get back. Man, that scoring in the first 30 seconds, that was amazing, and then they scored again not too long after that. It was like off to the races. But, Vegas is an experienced team. They've been there before. They know what they're doing. So just is what it is. But I'm glad you had a great experience. One thing I did want to point out that I saw last night on X was that the get-in price for the first game of the Stanley Cup Finals in Raleigh was higher than the get-in price for the NBA Finals. So don't tell me that Raleigh isn't a sports town. Give us Major League Baseball and wait and see how we show up for that, baby. This is a serious place that's serious about sports. And when you get all these college fan bases riled up about a common cause, man, watch out, because they're going to show up. And I'm glad you got to experience it last night.
And what you just said is the truth. It's a great sports town. I mean, it was as electric as you'll ever hear it in any type of sporting event, period. And I've been to many. So kudos to Raleigh. Kudos to a city that embraces and loves their sports.
Yeah, let's keep it rolling. All right, let's move on to number 2. You're approved, Ben. This is going to be our episodical check-in on rates and gas. Rates actually slid back a little bit last week after getting up to about 6 3/4. We saw it move back towards about 6.5 or 6.6. What are you seeing? What do you think is going to happen the rest of the week?
I mean, it's been kind of flat the last day or so, last 2 days, actually. I mean, who knows, Doug, to be honest, at this point. It's a lot of this, it hangs on the words that are coming out of government mouth about what's happening in Iran. The 10-year Treasury as of this morning is up 0.028 ticks, and that is hovering right at 4.485%. That's not a good day for mortgage rates. If the 10-year goes above 4.5, we can expect rates from where I'm sitting right now to stay in the 6.5 to 6.625 range on conventional financing. If you look at government rates, you're looking somewhere in the lower sixes. But I mean, it's as a whole. Right now, it's still a wait and see game. I'm excited for the opportunity for stuff to break open because rates will go down. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So I don't know, Doug. We're hanging on by a thread. I haven't looked at oil this morning. Have you seen the oil price?
Well, last week we got down into the low 80s and now we're back in the mid 90s. So it's all over the place too, because one day you hear this is all about to end and the market reacts. And then 2 days later you hear, oh, well, now everybody's bombing each other again. So nobody knows. And, it's frustrating because we've basically been having the same conversation for 2 months now. It's the same cycle every week. So it's important for us to talk about because we want you, the viewer, to know what's happening, so you can plan accordingly. But it's just a bunch of unknown right now. And I think we're going to continue to yo-yo until something concrete is settled. And then we can move on from it.
Absolutely. Oil's right now, Doug's around $82 a barrel. So, I hopefully that those things will start to calm down, to your point, and we can move on to a different daggone topic. I'm tired of talking about it. I love providing our listeners with the information, but dude, let's move that to fix this. How about that? We can fix it and gripe about it.
Seriously, maybe we can. All right. Well, let's keep moving on the hunt. Are people moving away from social media? What do you think, Ben? I know personally, I post a lot less probably than I ever have now. And it's, I've used it as a lifeblood for my business for a long time, but I mean, I'm on it because I like to know what's happening. But I just don't post that much anymore. Now I've got a social media manager that helps with the business and that posts stuff for me. But personally, I'm not posting that much at all. I'm resharing stuff. I really need to get better at it because it helps my business, but it's just, it feels like another job. What do you think?
I mean, it can. I try to keep it upbeat and fun and keep it in perspective of, like the pictures that I put up of Luke and I going on adventures or things we're doing. I do that for the memories, to be honest with you. Even though they're stored in my phone, I love looking at Facebook to see like what happened 5 or 6 years ago or 10 years ago. Like some of those memory posts or whatever. They're just really cool. And also too, like I do it for business as well. I was always taught that if you do on your personal page and such, you do 80% business, 20% personal flair. I kind of mix it up with more personal flair because I think people need to get to know us as individuals, especially when we're soliciting business. If people trust you, they're going to do business with you. And the way that I've gained a lot of traction on social media is just being authentic. Like what you see is what you get. I am who I am. but I still enjoy it because I get to keep up with my old friends and family from Kentucky that are 660 some odd miles away, from North Carolina. I get to keep up with them, stay engaged in their life. And my family too, that's all there. So for me, I'm not burdened by it. I just hate how my algorithm gets stacked with things that are directly supposed to make me mad, like politically and stuff. I get the most off the wall shit you've ever seen. It's unbelievable. And it's things that are just stirring the pot. So what I started doing now is hitting the X, the X button to minimize the post, that I don't even want to look at this stuff in my algorithms. And I put why. It's either scam, it doesn't interest me, whatever, to get it off my feed. That to me is more of an upsetting thing on social media than like me having to post or feeling like overwhelmed by it. I just don't like reading stuff that's nonsense, that I feel like is nonsense anyway. So that's kind of my take on it. I enjoy it. It's been great for me in business, and it's a labor of love, I guess.
There you go. I like it. All right. Well, let's keep the train moving to lock it in. Ben, the NBA Finals start tonight. We've got a great week of sports. A great week, 2 weeks coming up of sports here with the Stanley Cup, the NBA Finals. Who you got in the NBA Finals? What are you thinking?
Well, I mean, logic would say the Knicks are well rested. I saw a stat the other day that rested teams in the NBA Finals are like 21-4, something along those lines. My biggest part of this is the Victor Wembanyama factor. Who's going to stop him? Who's going to stop him? Nobody. The guy is unbelievable. So for me, the Spurs, while they're young, they're playing inspired, organized, smart basketball. They just took down OKC, who was favored to win the whole thing, going back-to-back championships. Had the reigning MVP of the league and got it for a second time, SGA. So for me, I think the Spurs have the biggest upside. The Knicks, kind of rooting for them a little bit because they haven't been there. They haven't won a championship, I think, since good grief, what was it?
79, I think.
79, thank you. I mean, I can't even remember that far back. I wasn't even born yet, if that tells you anything, and I'm old. So, for me, I think the Spurs, due to the Victor Wembanyama factor, I think he's unstoppable. His defense is superb. Jalen Brunson's going to have a hard time going to the paint against him.
Yeah, I mean, they really gutted it out against OKC, and let's be honest, I mean, I don't think a lot of people minded seeing OKC get bounced. Foul baiter, Shea Gilgeous, that's just ruining the league. It's disgusting to watch. And, man, to come back and win it in Game 7 on the road, really exciting. I mean, Wembanyama is like Shohei is to MLB, just a generational talent, and it's kind of crazy. Nice to see the Knicks, I'm not a New York fan at all, none of their sports teams, but cool to see them back in the mix. Now, I will say what we don't see in a lot of sports, we are seeing in the NBA lately, and that's parity. You had last year you had the Thunder. This year you got the Spurs and the Knicks. It's nice to see different teams in the mix. Now, the Knicks, they beat Cleveland. I mean, the East is not like stacked like it used to be in the 90s, right? These aren't your Pistons and your Bulls and the Knicks from the 90s, but they made it, and that's all that matters. You get a chance to do it. So now they'll do it. I was a big fan outside of the Hornets of the Spurs in the 90s with David Robinson and Tim Duncan. They were a lot of fun for me to watch. So for that sentimental reason, I'm kind of pulling for the Spurs. So we'll see what happens, but I'm excited to watch. We've been talking about the NBA for a lot of months now, following the Hornets and how they progressed this year. So nice way to wrap up the season and then see what happens in the postseason. But I'm excited. I think for the reasons you said too, I'll probably tip my hat to the Spurs for winning it. But, I mean, I'm not counting the Knicks out. I don't expect it to be an easy series by any means.
Absolutely. I agree.
All right. Well, let's keep it moving to due diligence. Today, let's talk a little bit more about why price reductions often help sellers more than they hurt them. Now, sellers might think that dropping the price is a bad thing, but it's not always a bad thing. They don't like them, but buyers love them. Buyers like to see it. It pops back up on their search alerts. And sometimes a price reduction is the best thing that you can do to your house. When you're working with buyers, do you ever have them working to sell at the same time? Do you ever hear from them about that experience?
Yeah, I mean, from time to time, a lot of times we get folks that are selling and relocating here, from a different state. So For me, I don't get to hear a lot of the intricate details unless it's somebody that's like, say they're moving close by and Doug, you're listing their home and you're also helping them on the buy side, right? So then I get a little more feedback about how many showings they're getting, because I like to ask, hey, how's the sale of your home coming along? Because I have to ask too. A lot of times, qualification for a mortgage or qualifying for a mortgage depends on them selling the house. Sometimes it doesn't, right? Sometimes they can float it with both payments, with what's on paper. So, for me, I like to ask questions just because I like to stay engaged. But I mean, you're the running expert on this stuff. I think what I'm hearing more right now is people are listing their homes and they're not able to sell them very quickly. We've had several clients recently that have had their home for sale for a couple months. Their offer was contingent upon them selling a home, which, by the way, a contingent offer is pretty hard to get accepted in this market. Yeah, it is. But homes are sitting longer right now, and I think, again, going back to topic number 2, when rates start to come down and we get to a good level there where people are comfortable again. I mean, you think about it. If you've got a rate sitting at even 2.875 or 3.25, which a lot of folks do right now, from the good old days, as we like to refer them, 4% a rate in the 4s is a whole lot easier to stomach than a rate in the 6s or 7s. Right. So for me, it's all going to come down to affordability. And I just hope that we get there rate wise before it starts to impact the market as a whole with prices dropping, for home values and such.
Yeah. You bring up a great point about contingencies, and, with any seller right now, I'm recommending you get it on the market first before you start looking. Just because things are sitting, and I'm trying, with all of my sellers, and I've got several sellers right now, and I'm doing my best, which I always try to do, but even more so now, is to set the expectation. We've talked about over the last several episodes, most sellers to buyers ever.
Right.
Well, when that happens, you got to have it ready. You got to have it priced right, which comes to this point, making sure that it's priced right and it's appealing and makes sense. And you just got to be patient for all of these factors that we talked about. So, for any seller, talk to me, talk to your agent, understand what's happening in the market before you come with preconceived notions about how the market is going to play out for you. And especially with regards to timing and pricing, because those are huge factors. So we'll keep it moving on to Fix This. I love Fix This. I think we've got our topic for next week. But for this week, why does every product need an app? Ben, my refrigerator has an app.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. The more complex they can make it, the better off they feel. Why do you need an app for your refrigerator? I just need the refrigerator to cool, stay cool, and freeze. You know what I mean? And then I open the door and I grab what I want. I don't need an app for that at all. All it is something else that they can create to break on said refrigerator or said appliance or whatever. And then you got to pay an inordinate amount of money to get that fixed. It's too much. I don't even have a Ring doorbell camera. I don't even want to get into that. I don't know. I give up. You got to hook everything up to your Wi-Fi, your Bluetooth, your brown tooth, whatever the heck you want to call it. I just get sick of it. So yeah, I mean, refrigerators, it's ridiculous. Who needs an app to control the climate in your fridge? I don't. I said it one time when I buy a refrigerator, and I walk away from it forever. I don't want to see that. So I'm with you on that.
Well, Ben, when I get to Costco, I can check the fridge if I forgot to put milk on the list and see if there's milk in the refrigerator.
Oh, come on. I mean, if you can't figure that part out, you got to, you know what I mean, Doug? Like, there's some things we just don't. If you're that dumb, well, I shouldn't say dumb. It's easy to forget groceries, right? It's easy to forget. But I don't need an app to look in. I don't even want to look and see what's in my fridge, because I certainly don't want to see all the food I've taken out of it and consumed. That's my biggest thought on that.
Well, half the time the app doesn't work anyways, because I changed phones and I haven't reconnected the app. And, my refrigerator's not connected by Ethernet, so it's kind of difficult to connect sometimes on the Wi-Fi. Like, we're having Wi-Fi issues this morning. So what are you going to do? But yeah, it's kind of crazy. I think another conversation we could have later is all the connectivity stuff with the cars and how are withholding services in these new cars, like heated seats, you have to pay extra for. They'll turn it off if you don't have a subscription to your heated seats. How insane is that?
Ford Motor Company did that to me in the Explorer I purchased, a 26 Explorer. They didn't do the heated. They didn't turn my heated seats off, but they had this thing. It's blue something, and it'll drive your car, right? Well, my previous vehicle would do that, but I didn't have to pay extra for it. They want a monthly subscription. Yeah. Everything is going to subscription right now. So I just don't do it. And it's like, oh, this is blue. It's blue something it's called. I don't know. And it's like, oh, this is eligible. So you hit the button thinking it's going to work. And it's like, oh, your trial subscription ran out. It's like, come on, guys.
Jeez.
Are we really chincing that hard on people? You just bought a new car from you guys, and we can't even use the technology that's available without paying you $40 a month. I'm not doing it. So,
that's crazy.
With you.
That is crazy.
Everything is subscription based these days. It's that's
the opposite of customer service. Wow. All right. Well, let's keep moving on to counter offer. Ben, we got another food fight this week, and this is relevant to North Carolina, like our last couple have been. What do you got? Eastern North Carolina barbecue or Western North Carolina barbecue?
I mean, I'm going to tell you the best barbecue I ever had was in Alabama, pal. So, I mean, we can talk about North Carolina barbecue.
Get the hell out.
I'm just telling you, it's not even close.
It probably wasn't even barbecue. It was probably some beef crap.
Unbelievable. If you tell me that vinegar base is the way for you to go, then I'm just going to end the show right now. I'm going to move all the way to the end, and I'm going to say, all right, Doug, it's closing time. We got to go.
Well, thanks for joining us on the show today, folks. This has been the closing table with Ben Hart.
Here we go.
Eastern North Carolina is supreme barbecue. Vinegar-based pork. That is barbecue. A bunch of tomato sauce on meat is not barbecue. That's not barbecue.
Doug, we're not.
Let me ask you this.
We're not in an Italian restaurant.
Have you ever used barbecue as a verb?
I'm going to use it on you in a minute. That's all I know. I don't know how I'm going to conjugate it.
That's all North Carolinians need to know. If you're using barbecue as a verb, you don't even know what you're talking about. Because it's not. It's a noun. Barbecue is a thing. It's not an action.
Hold on. Time out. Have you ever had Smoky Tony's in Holly Ridge?
Yeah, it's delicious.
That's not vinegar based.
Right. I didn't say I can't enjoy it, but it's not the best.
You're crazy. You've absolutely lost your mind.
I guess
100%.
I'm a local. I get it. If you're not local, you don't get it. It just is what it is. That's okay.
Yeah, you either have good taste or bad taste. I know, Doug. I get it, man.
That's
get it. No, I don't disparage vinegar-based barbecue. You give me hickory smoked ribs any day of the week. It's not even close.
Oh yeah, I love some ribs too. But I'm talking about some chopped vinegar-based pork.
Yeah, I can't even with you right now, Doug. I've had it. I'm done. I'm shutting it down. I'm unplugging everything. No, actually, Doug, I'm kidding around with you a lot. I love Eastern North Carolina barbecue as well. I like any type of food, obviously, but for me, it's the hickory smoked flavor, traditional barbecue. That's kind of my forte. But I mean, I like them both. I don't turn either of them down. Let's put it that way.
No, me either. I'm going to eat it all. It's all delicious, and there's a place and time for all of it, right? All joking aside, it's all freaking delicious, except for barbecue is not a verb. It's a noun. And if you use it as a verb, it doesn't matter what you like, you're wrong. That's it. I tell my clients moving to North Carolina from out of state, hey, let me just give you a little bit of heads up. Don't use it as a verb. It's a noun. It's something you eat. It's not something you do. We cook out, we grill, we smoke. We don't barbecue. All right?
I can agree with that. Well, barbecue, right. You don't hear that term tossed around as much these days. It used to be in the 80s, the early 90s, you'd say, oh, we're going to a barbecue. Nobody calls it that anymore.
Well, that's right, because I've been getting the word out. You're welcome.
I know. Doug, you're an influencer, my friend.
All right, let's keep it moving. Getting local, North Carolina lens. So we've talked about MLB Raleigh and bringing Major League Baseball to North Carolina. MLB Raleigh has been a movement for probably 7 or 8 years. They actually just rebranded this past week to MLB North Carolina in an effort to bring in the rest of the state, making it about bringing baseball to North Carolina, not specifically Raleigh, although that's still the target, and I think it's still the best idea. I think we're best suited for it, given everything that Charlotte has going on. We talked about the get-in price for the Stanley Cup. You got to experience Raleigh sports firsthand last night. I like the momentum. They've been talking about the collective bargaining in baseball, setting the minimum and maximum, salary caps. Once that gets settled, I think they're going to be able to focus more on taking offers from these expansion cities. A lot of other names have been coming up lately. I think Vancouver, Portland, obviously, Salt Lake. There are a lot of names. I saw Austin, Texas, Nashville, obviously, Raleigh, Charlotte, Montreal. Who knows what's going to happen? More baseball is good for me because I love baseball. So I'm excited that they're just expanding, just because it's been a long time now. But this is the chance for us to see Major League Baseball in Raleigh or in North Carolina in our lifetimes. So I really hope that it happens. And I'm really excited to see there's this kind of faux rivalry between Raleigh and Charlotte just because people don't have anything better to complain about. So they're always sniping at each other. Raleigh's the little brother. It's Mayberry. You don't need a team. You can't support a team. Obviously, we can. Look at the Canes. On the other hand, Charlotte, big financial center of the Southeast, right? A lot of support there. So I think both options would be good. But I think, spread the wealth a little bit, right? Spread the wealth.
I've been to a lot of sporting events in Charlotte. I've been to a lot of sporting events in Raleigh and concerts, all of it. And I can tell you that Raleigh is something special. It's just special. It reminds me, I told you this before the show, it reminds me of when I lived in Louisville, like the passion behind the University of Louisville Cardinals and the Kentucky Wildcats. Those fan bases are rabid. I mean, it is rabid. And last night I looked at the Lenovo Center. The place did not have an empty seat, and tickets were going for outrageous amounts of money. I had friends text me and said they sold theirs and made $3,000 off 2 tickets. Wow. I made $3,000 on top of what they spent on them. Raleigh is it, man. The parking lot, I complained about the parking. As massive of a sprawl as that parking area, the parking areas around Lenovo Center are, they were plumb full, and people are tailgating. They had a watch party for people that couldn't get in the stadium with live music and like huge TV screens. Your football stadium was lit up with everything. Go Canes. If anybody argues with me that Raleigh isn't deserving of this or can't support it, they have no idea what they're talking about at all.
I think that's the biggest issue. People just don't know.
If NHL hockey can thrive in Raleigh, North Carolina, what do you think MLB is going to do? It's not even close. It shouldn't even be a discussion. Charlotte, you got the Panthers. Charlotte, you got the Hornets. Raleigh, you got NHL. You got a team in the championship, Stanley Cup championship. Obviously it's a successful organization, not just based off attendance, but off of play and action on the field, on the ice. I'm telling you, Raleigh's the place to do it. If you're ever going to do MLB, Charlotte's not going to show up for MLB. They barely show up for the Panthers. Let's be honest. We have more opposing team fans in Bank of America Stadium for home games than we do Panthers fans a lot of times. Now, is that due to the product? Partially, of course. They want to see a great product on the field. And Charlotte will show up in those instances. But I think Raleigh's got more of like you guys are so integrated with college athletics that you understand passion, and that carries over into your pro sport attendance and passion for pro sports as well. So it's not even close, Doug. Anybody that says Raleigh can't support an MLB team has absolutely no idea what they're talking about.
Well, you made the point that I wanted to make, and that's so many pro sports towns are not college towns, right? You've got all these major urban areas. They've probably got smaller private schools. They don't have the big public state universities. In North Carolina, we got a mix of both here in the Triangle, especially you got NC State, North Carolina, you've got Duke, you got Wake Forest in Winston-Salem, you got ECU out in Greenville, and that's just 5 of, the many institutions we've got in North Carolina. People are passionate about college sports, and then you give them a pro team to be passionate about, and now everybody's on the same team, pulling in the same direction. That's really powerful. And that's why, going to the Canes is such a great thing, because you got all these people pulling the same direction. It's really cool and unique. And I think that's one of the reasons why Raleigh would be such a great spot.
And you know what? It works too. All those fans are there in unison for the Carolina Hurricanes. There might be some Duke fans in there. There might be some UNC, NC State. Everybody comes together for one common purpose, regardless
That's right.
of their allegiances in college. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Although based on what you said about John Shire last night, it doesn't sound like there were a lot of Duke fans there since he got the
but at the same time,
but I'm sure there were.
You know what I mean? You know there's some Duke fans that are Carolina Hurricane fans. I mean, they have to be. They live here, right? But yeah, poor John Shire. He got killed last night. It was so bad.
Did they put Belichick on the big screen? I saw he was there too.
No, him and his girlfriend, they didn't make it last night. They were busy. They were busy doing other things.
Okay.
I guess. Well, I mean, he wasn't there. And if he was, he wouldn't have looked very happy about it. So better off keeping him off the camera.
He was sitting with Gary Bettman, the commissioner of the NHL.
Well, they didn't show him on the big screen.
Hey, maybe he requested it. I heard his girlfriend wasn't there, though, but it was past her bedtime. Anyways, let's keep it moving on to the final walkthrough. I'm gonna put the ball in your court here, Ben. The French Open was last week, correct? This is your wheelhouse. I'm teeing it up for you.
No pun intended on putting the ball in my court for tennis, right? I love it, Doug. Doug, you are such an incredible host. You have become the Johnny Carson of real estate and mortgage shows. You really have. or no, let's get more. Maybe I don't know, Walter Cronkite even. I mean, there's a lot of similarities there. The French Open has been cinema. It has been cinema. Total chaos. I mean, it's been absolutely amazing. This morning, Aryna Sabalenka just got ousted, the number 1 seed. She won the first set 6-3, lost the second set. So I think it was 7-5. She lost to Diana Schneider. And then Diana Schneider, the 25th seed, beat the number 1 seed 6-0 in the third set. So the women's field is completely discombobulated. The men's field, we all know what happened with Sinner. He got ousted in the second round. Carlos Alcaraz couldn't be there because of a wrist injury. He's also withdrawn from Wimbledon. Right now, it's wide open. And whoever wins this Grand Slam on the men's side will win his first Grand Slam ever. And it's been historically run the last 20 years by Novak Djokovic, Rafa Nadal, and then you've got, of course, Sinner and Alcaraz, who have come on like wildfire. So you talk about exciting, unpredictable, amazing tennis. I've seen some of the best matches I ever care to witness at the French Open this year. So kudos to Roland Garros, which, by the way, you guys need the electronic line calling in there. It's stupid not to have it. Everybody else has it. Come on, French Open, get it together. Get your electronic line calling in there, so we're not leaving it up to a blind guy's devices, whether ball's in or out. Yeah. Casper Ruud was playing João Fonseca, not last round, but the round before that. João ended up beating him, but due to a terrible call, it cost Casper Ruud the second set. If Casper Ruud, because João Fonseca won the first set, if Casper Ruud would have won the second set, it makes it a completely different match, because men have to win best 3 out of 5. So being down 0-2 is a lot different than being tied 1-1 as far as sets go. So it's just further validation. They need electronic line calling. But what an epic last week and a half of tennis, and I can't wait to see how it ends.
I know you've been all in your feelings about it, because I know you love some tennis. You ever play on clay?
Oh, yeah. I play on clay all the time. Out at Porter's Neck Country Club, that's where we play predominantly. Me and my buds and my USTA tennis team members, we play out there all the time. And by the way, they have the best clay courts in Wilmington. It's not even close. But I play on clay a ton. Our clay is called Hard True. It's green. It's a bit different than the red dirt clay that they use at the French Open, which is primarily made out of bricks, like crushed bricks and such. So it's a bit different pace on the ball, different spin, different bounces. But clay is a lot easier on an old man's body, which I'm grateful for that.
There you go. I hear you. All right. Well, let's wrap this buddy up. moving into closing time, keeping an eye out for over the next week?
You know, Doug, I hate to be the same. Maybe I should come up with something different specifically for this question, but I can't. I'm watching oil prices. I'm watching the 10-year Treasury. Of course, the NBA Finals, Stanley Cup Finals, and the French Open. And I'm in heaven. So Luke's got some swim meets coming up as well. I'm excited about those. We keep an eye on him. My little fish out there in the water. But yeah, just, keep an eye on the markets, keep an eye on what we're doing in our files, our clients. And keep an eye on you, Doug Yop.
Well, watch out, because, brother, I'm going to be around and I might sneak up on you. Yeah, same thing for me. I'm really excited about all the sports. Everett is going to an ID camp at High Point University this weekend. Excited to check that out. Heard so many nice things about it. So, do something fun, do something different. We're getting to that age where we want him to start experiencing colleges and maybe what they look like. We'll be at UNCW later this summer for a camp, and we're going to do a campus tour while we're down there too. So just excited to move into this stage of life and experience that. So that's what we'll be doing. And I'm going to go help some clients do some stuff as well.
Love it. Let's go.
All right. Well, everybody, thanks for joining us again. I believe this is episode 25 of The Closing Table. Can you believe we already made it to a quarter century? How about that? So thanks again to Lynn with Ben. Thanks to the Oceanair Realty. We're here for all your mortgage and home buying and selling needs. Please please subscribe, please comment, let us know. Somebody weigh in on this barbecue thing. Let's hear how bad Ben's take was. I know you're all going to agree with me. And it's comment if you use barbecue as a verb so I can block you going forward. But until we see you again, have a great week. Look out for each other. Call us if you needed us. And until next time, this has been The Closing Table.